And this deal is worth more in Nevada for Tyler Linderbaum than it would have been in other places that obviously have state income tax, which is something that you have to consider here when you look at any of these free agent deals, like the Malik Willis deal, for example, as we transition to the quarterbacks. I don't know where the market was for him. We had speculated the deal could be 25, the deal could be 30. In the end, Malik Willis goes to the Dolphins for a contract that's worth $22.5 million a year. It's 45 guaranteed, and that's pretty much what the money is when you look at the paper here. It's 2 years, 22.5, no state income tax. He has familiarity with the head coach and Jeff Hafley, familiarity with the new general manager and John Michael Sullivan, both of whom came from Green Bay. He has Achane, he has Waddle, but this is from my money, and it isn't mine, it's Malik's. A bit of a risk, not knowing if he had another offer in hand. You're kind of going to a teardown. The Dolphins, when they officially released Tua, which they did first thing this morning, when you woke up early on the East Coast, that was the first thing in your mailbox. The Dolphins with a classy goodbye to Tua Tagovailoa. They're taking on a massive dead cap hit. They're going to spread it out between this year and next. It's a post-June 1 release. The Dolphins are going to be bad. And a lot is going to be on Malik Willis's shoulders. This is his one shot at a bag. Go get it, young man. I'm fascinated to know, though, Jory, could he have gone to Pittsburgh? Could he have gone to Minnesota? I don't know the answer. Because the Dolphins, that's not an easy lift.
Right. When you compare it to Justin Fields in some way last year, there is this sense of, do you want the most amount of money because you don't know if you'll be able to get back to the table? And Malik Willis was not a first-round pick like Justin Fields, so this is his first payday in a different way. Or do you want the team that's going to allow you to best succeed this year, both because of the talent around you, the surrounding cast, especially on offense, and because of the coaching staff believing in you and a chance to start? And I would say Malik Willis took the former, and that is fine. Like, you can choose, and credit to him if he's able to figure it out. He doesn't have as much talent around him. Even if he had gone to Arizona, I would think that he would have had more talent around him. And certainly if he had ended up in one of those jobs in Atlanta, which I know we'll get to Tua, but Atlanta certainly has more talent than Miami has on the offensive side of the ball right now. But I think what's interesting here is that we all kind of thought that Malik Willis was going to have this super competitive market, in part because of quarterbacks who were hitting free agency initially. He did. But then all of these quarterbacks at the veteran minimum, 1.3 million, start becoming available. You have the Kyler Murray, you have Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith. And so all of a sudden, everyone else is costing 1.3 million. Are you going to be able to get 30 million now? Do they want you that much more? And so I actually do think that impacted his market. And then you also look at this, and I think if I'm a quarterback in the future trying to figure out how to revive my career, not only do I want to go to a play caller who's going to teach me a valuable system, I also want to go to a team that's going to win. And then the people who get to know me during that development time are going to end up in leadership and decision-making positions elsewhere. Because that's what happened here with Malik Willis and this staff that was with him with the Green Bay Packers. And so while the rest of the league's like, well, you did some good things, but it was a small sample size, Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan had a bigger sample size of practice, and Jeff Hafley being their defensive coordinator practicing against Malik Willis. And I don't think this is totally unlike the Seahawks last year saying, okay, Sam Darnold had his 1 year in Minnesota, but Clint Kubiak knew him from his time in the San Francisco 49ers offense. And so he understood who he was in a way that made him ultimately more comfortable for Seattle. So I think we've got a little bit of a through line here of guys who used to want to work with you, or who used to work with you and understood who you are as a worker, as a developer, and what your skills were to scheme around, are more likely to want to pay you down the road.
Yeah, and I'm happy for Malik Willis as well. This guy who transferred from a big SEC program, ended up at Liberty, went to the Senior Bowl. Some people were talking him up as a top 10 pick. And then he fell to the third round. It didn't work in Tennessee. They drafted Will Levis. They got rid of him. The Packers got him for like a six-pack of Spotted Cow, and then they turned him, and give credit to Matt LaFleur here, into a fantastic backup quarterback. Did what the Packers did back in the day with Ron Wolf, develop quarterbacks, and then watch them go elsewhere with varying degrees of success. But Malik Willis gets the paycheck that some people thought he might get on draft night. He gets it eventually in Miami 4 years later, and now he has a chance, much like Tyler Linderbaum to hit it a second time in free agency if this deal really works out. And anyone who got to know him, whether it's in Tennessee or Green Bay or back at the Senior Bowl, would say, oh my God, like what an amazing young man. Good for him. And I wish him well there. I also wish Tua well. I'm a big Tua fan. I'm fascinated how this works now in Atlanta because one man's opportunity, another man's gain, and now Tua goes to Atlanta. It is now official. He gets a one-year deal. It's the league minimum. It's $1.3 million. It's like, hey, free quarterback, much like what the Steelers did last year with Russell Wilson when the Broncos got rid of him. The Broncos pay the salary. The Steelers got a quarterback. That was 2 years ago. And so now he could be the guy because no one knows when Michael Penix is truly going to be available. So Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees now have two left-handed quarterbacks. Oh, by the way, Bijan Robinson and Drake London are also left-handed, for whatever that's worth. And I think Tua is the guy. I think Tua starts week one if I had to make a bet right now. However, neither of these guys, Jory, has shown an ability to stay healthy. Michael Penix has been hurt at the NFL level. He was hurt repeatedly at the college level. We all know Tua's issues, well documented. Someone suggested to me last season, trying to explain Mike McDaniel's I want to say fall, but how it all fell apart, if you will, in Miami, saying, hey, this guy's calling plays for a quarterback that can't get hit. Everything is three-step, get it out quick, because he can't get hit. If he gets hit, it could be curtains. It could be the end. So you have two injury-prone quarterbacks, but they're playing inside, they're playing on turf, and they got a lot of weapons. So, like, if one of them works, it's fun. I just don't know which one.
Right, but I think as we were talking about in terms of what a quarterback is looking for, not only do they have the surrounding cast of talent, but like you said, there's a chance to start, and I'm not sure it's only a chance for a couple weeks. I mean, again, I hope that Michael Penix Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa can both get healthy, stay healthy, remain healthy for the rest of their careers. That's what I root for most players, if not all players, I guess. And I think that when you look at this, if Tua starts week one and it's going really well, Michael Penix Jr. doesn't have like 10 years of proven ability to do this, and he doesn't have a pre-existing relationship with Kevin Stefanski before a month or two ago. And so if you say that if Tua's doing really well and it looks good and they start rolling and Michael Penix Jr. is not fully healthy, or it's kind of a 10 to 12 weeks, let's say, at that point, then you try and push him a little bit, and all of a sudden, if Tua keeps winning, I'm not sure you take the job from Tua, because I think you kind of ride him until he doesn't win anymore. So I think there is a significant opportunity here, at least for the first year in Atlanta, if Tua does well, which is why if I'm Tua, I totally understand why he wants to go there.
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. I think the Falcons offense is fun. They've got the weapons, and it really is the 2020 Browns. It's Stefanski, it's Bill Callahan, it's AVP Alex Van Pelt, their former OC in Cleveland, who's now back there with Stefanski and Callahan. They signed Austin Hooper today, who was Stefanski and Andrew Berry's first big free agent signing back in 2020. They are getting the band back together in a very, very winnable division. I know that the Panthers made a big splash today with Jalen Phillips and the Buccaneers. They added a bunch of pieces, and they saw Mike Evans walk out the door as well. But this is a very winnable division, especially when you get that new first-year coach bounce and all of that. I would be bullish on the Falcons, regardless of who their quarterback is. I would just be, I don't know, anxious if I were a Falcons fan that either of these quarterbacks can stay healthy.